We found an Incan temple rumored to be full of treasure, turquoise, obsidian, gold, and even some precious artifacts. Join us on our adventure as we explain Incan Gold. Place the gemstones on the table within reach of the players. Each player takes a torch card, a camp card, and a tent. We will explain those in a minute. The temple is created in the center of the table with the 5 temple cards. The 5 artifacts are shuffled and placed face down under the temple cards. Choose who goes first and give them the shuffled deck of treasure cards. You are now ready to play the game.
The game round. To start the round, the first player flips over the first temple card and shuffles the artifact under it into the treasure deck. Each player decides whether they're going to explore the temple farther or return to their camp, save the treasure they've already acquired by picking one of the cards from their hand to play. Then first player counts down and everybody displays their choice at the same time. 3, 2, 1, go. After everyone has displayed their choice, the first player turns over the top card of the treasure card pile and places it on the path. The players who have remained in the temple either share in the treasure or suffer catastrophe. Treasure cards. If a treasure card is discovered, the players who are still in the temple split the treasure as evenly as possible, and then the remaining treasure is left on the path. For example, if there is a 4-player game and a 14 treasure card is discovered, then each player receives 3 turquoise gems for a total of 12, and the 2 remaining gems are placed on the card. Players who have already returned to camp do not share in the discovered treasure. Treasure you receive is placed next to your tent, not inside. Artifact cards. If an artifact card is discovered, it is placed in the path but is not collected by any players at this time. We'll explain how to collect an artifact card in a minute. The first 3 artifact cards that are brought out of the temple are each worth 5 points. The last 2 artifact cards brought out are each worth 10 points. If you manage to collect an artifact card, place it next to your tent with the appropriate scoring gem placed on it. These points are always safe, even though they're outside your tent. Don't expect 10-point artifacts to show up very often. It's never happened to us. If the player chooses to return to camp, they first check to see if they collect any more treasures on the way out. If any treasures remain on the treasure cards, they are collected by players returning to camp on the way out. If more than one person is returning to camp at the same time, they split the treasure on each card as evenly as possible and leave any remainder. If there is an artifact card in the path when a player leaves, they collect that artifact if they are the only player going back to camp. If more than one person heads back to camp at the same time, neither one of them receives the artifact. When the player gets back to their camp, they place all of the treasure they've received inside their tent. That treasure is now safe and cannot be lost. At any time, players may trade in 5 points of gems for an obsidian or 10 points of gems for a gold, just to make final scoring a little easier. There are several different types of hazard cards in the deck. These hazard cards may turn up at any time while you're exploring the temple. When the first of a specific type of hazard is discovered, nothing happens. But if a second hazard card of the same type is uncovered, any explorers still in the temple are scared away, and all the treasures they discovered in that round are lost and returned to the general pool. When this happens, the round is over, and the second hazard that scared away the players is placed under the current round temple card. When players are scared out of the temple by a hazard, or when the last player returns to camp, the round is over. If there are any artifact cards left on the path, they are lost forever and removed from the game. Any treasure still left on the treasure cards is returned to the general supply. The next temple card is flipped over, and the artifact underneath it is added to the treasure deck. Finally, all cards left on the path are collected into the treasure deck. The deck is shuffled and passed to the next player on the left. Now a new round begins and plays just as we've described.
The game ends at the end of the 5th round. When all players have either been scared away or returned to camp to end the 5th round, each player counts the gems that they have in their tent, plus the gems they have on any artifacts they control. The player with the highest gem value is the winner. Thanks for joining us to learn and play Incan Gold. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for more gaming goodies. Till next time, game on!
This is Creepy, the 8th dwarf in Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. He decided to stay in the mine and creep everybody out. He's just weird.
Okay.
And even some each player counts the gems. It's still too fast.
Okay. La 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 la. But if his second hazard card is of the